Snow Bros is a real oddity. It is the one and only Famicom game published by Toaplan. We've actually seen a few ports of their arcade shoot-em-ups to the Famicom. Unfortunately, all of those ports were by notoriously bad developer Micronix. Toaplan were one of the big shoot-em-up developers in the late 80s and early 90s, and unfortunately, for the most part, those shoot-em-ups stayed away from the Famicom. If I ever decided to do Famidaily, then we'd see quite a bit of their stuff. But they didn't just make shoot-em-ups. In 1990, they released a single-screen arcade game called Snow Bros. It is very similar to certain Taito arcade games, and it was one of their big successes at the time. By 1991, Toaplan was publishing their own console ports, which meant they decided to do Snow Bros themselves. Although they didn't develop the port themselves, they handed it off to small developer Sol. And because it was such a simple arcade game, and given the timing of release, Snow Bros is the last arcade port to the Famicom. The remaining 170-some games we have to go are all computer or console games. Snow Bros was not a success on its release, though I doubt Toaplan would publish many more Famicom games regardless. What that means for Famicom collectors is that copies of the game are exceptionally rare and not cheap. This is another member of the 10,000 Yen Club, the exclusive club for games where you could expect to spend at least 10,000 yen for a copy. And Snow Bros is way past that. It's over 20,000 yen for a copy these days. The plot of Snow Bros is that Snowland has been invaded. An evil witch has kidnapped the princess and turned Nick and Tom into snowmen. Now they have to clear 50 stages to stop the witch. The goal on every stage is to destroy all of the enemies. 8 jumps, and you can go upward through platforms, but not down. And the B button fires a cold blast that goes out a short distance and then falls down. Hitting an enemy with a snow blast will pile up some snow around them and stop them in their place. Hit them several times and they'll turn into a snowball. There's a few things you can do with a snowball, but the most important thing is walk up to it and hit B, and you'll give it a good shove in that direction. That'll send the ball rolling around and hopefully into other enemies. Any enemy struck by the ball will fly off and turn into something. Sometimes sushi, which is just worth points, and sometimes a potion, which is a permanent power-up. Or at least permanent until you die. You don't have a health bar in Snow Bros, any contact will kill you. And you're given 3 lives and 5 continues with which to beat the game. Besides hurling the snowball, you can just push it around by walking into it. You can jump on top of them and use those to reach higher points. You can bop it from underneath and knock it higher. And if you get hit by your own snowball, you'll be carried along with it and become invincible for a short while after it stops. For the potions, the red potion is a speed up. That winds up probably being the most important potion to get because your default movement speed is so pokey. The yellow potions make your shots go further, while the blue potions make them larger and stronger. There's one other special item that appears, this snowman's face, which when you collect it, all of the enemies vanish for a short while and are replaced with a new set of enemies. If you snowball them, they have one of the letters in the word snow appear on them, and if you collect all 4 letters, you earn an extra life. If you manage to knock out all of the enemies on the stage with 1 snowball, then special bonus money will drop from the sky, and it's worth a huge amount of points. Items in Snow Bros tend to vanish quickly if you don't collect them, so if you see a power-up, you need to move fast for it. If you take too long on a stage, then this pumpkin head guy shows up and will chase you down. He can't be turned into a snowball either. Every 10 stages there will be a boss, and you can defeat them by rolling their minions back at them, but they're also damaged by your regular shot. When you defeat a boss, you go to a bonus slot machine. Here you have the snow letters again, and those are just worth points, while Nick and Tom are worth extra lives. Naturally, there's a 2-player mode in Snow Bros, since 1 player can be Nick and 1 player can be Tom. Though you don't have to play in co-op mode to get the true ending. There's a hidden feature in Snow Bros That points to Toaplan primarily making shoot-em-ups. Press select on the title screen, and you get an option for a caravan mode timer. This gives you a certain amount of time to score as many points as possible. Basically, it's a special mode used for score competitions. Since this is Toaplan's only Famicom game, it's not like they had a big future on the platform, but there were sequels to Snow Bros. In fact, 1994's Snow Bros 2 was the last game that Toaplan made. And as I'm recording this, there's been a bit of a Toaplan resurgence, and a new expanded version of Snow Bros is part of that. In Japan, Snow Bros was pretty well regarded, but the poor sales of the games has made them inaccessible for most people. My own take on Snow Bros is that I like it, it's just I don't think it's as good as the games it's inspired by. Snow Bros winds up feeling a lot slower and a lot meaner than those games. It is a very difficult game considering how fragile you are, and a lot of the enemies just move faster than you. Especially these whirlwind guys that move straight at you. It's a real challenge to beat this one, and it's actually a lot easier if you play it co-op. Getting swept up in somebody else's ball can actually be quite beneficial, and the number of enemies don't increase for 2 players. I like playing Snow Bros, but the whole time I'm playing it, I'm thinking about a better game.